we have about 5 minutes left. I want to ask you switch over completely from your book to books.
Yes.
So you have, the great job in America if you care about books and care about reading and care about the future of books and reading and publishing. And yet it is at a moment when publishing has been turned on its ear by technology and by the decline in the publishing economy. So give us a snapshot of your life as editor of the Book Review in view of those things.
Well, let me tell you something. First, Evan, that readers should be prepared for. Wait till you see the New York Times ebook bestseller list. It's coming.
Is that right?
We're doing it.
Yeah. And is it going to be materially different from the regular bestseller list?
Yes, it will be.
Yeah.
Now, we're going to do complicated, fun, interesting things with our bestseller list, with all the lists, but there will be one that is an ebook bestseller list. It's a wonderfully paradoxical time. You probably know this. You talk to many authors. More books are being published and read now than ever before.
Yeah.
There are some 200,000 books being published every year.
Right.
We review about 1% of them. And so people say to me at the Book Review, how many of those books do you read? And how do you decide what you're going to review? Those are the real questions. So we have a staff of about 8 to 10 editors who on their own time are walking home with stacks of galleys, advanced reading copies, spending enough time with those books to decide whether we should review it. That's the most important decision we make. Totally subjective, by the way.
But if you make that cut, if you make that 1%, that means that there really is something pretty good about you, or interesting about your book.
I'm glad you said interesting.
It's not necessarily
because
good.
Authors are shocked, and readers are, by how book reviews tend to be mixed.
Yeah.
There are the occasional raves. There are the occasional eviscerations. They kind of tend to be mixed, slightly favorable or slightly unfavorable. It's like they say in American politics, we're either slightly center slightly left, or center slightly right.
Yeah.
That's what our reviews are like.
Indeed.
Why? Because if you're an editor, as we are, you're looking at books, and you say, yeah, there's really something here. This is interesting. Then you try to find a reviewer you think will engage with the book, whether fiction or nonfiction. We do not ever say, we think this book is good.
Yeah.
Or, we hope you like it. Or, I've got a problem with this
You
one.
hand it off to the reviewer and say, it's your call.
Absolutely. We say, are you available to review this book? What happens is, really practiced critics read, in some ways, even more closely than readers like ourselves do. And it becomes increasingly difficult for them to see something that seems truly original or new, especially in fiction. Fictional voices, original fictional voices, come along only a few times in a generation. This is why a writer like Jonathan Franzen creates the excitement he does. People think, why? Why is everybody jumping on this bandwagon? Right. And singing the praise of this one novel? What about all those other good novels? They're right. The size and scope of the ambition, the sense that Franzen has stripped away the secret life of our culture, of the way we're living now. It's a very rare thing.
Did you like that book?
I did. I couldn't put it down.
Yeah.
Now, does that mean it's an enduring masterpiece? I have no idea. But somehow he's getting it where we are, and it's kind of enlivens your hope for the novel. Look, Texas is a land of great writers. Right? Larry McMurtry, Mary Carr, Cormac McCarthy lived here for a long time. There's a great literary tradition here, and it's always been a big tradition. Franzen is in that big tradition. But the other thing I want to say about all of this, Evan, is that we feared, many of us did. If you grew up at the time you and I did, the talk was always about declining literacy. Nobody reads anymore. In fact, the internet has done the opposite. It's turned everybody into readers and writers. The question is how they read. You edited one of the great magazines that specialized in what I fear is the most threatened form, long-form journalism. Because you can't do that in the blogosphere. It's an American form of journalism. It's not done in other countries. The 10,000-word miniature epic nonfiction narrative. We invented that, and we may lose it because the internet will not be able to sustain it in the same way.
But what may be hopeful as we wrap up here is I read the Jonathan Franzen book on my iPad. The fact is, the savior of long-form journalism may ultimately be technology. Not the killer, but the savior.
That would be great if it's true. Did you like Franzen's novel?
I did like, and I found it, as you did, to be quite engrossing. And, parts of it I kind of puzzled over, but, I saw a lot of modern life reflected in this book in a way that most books seem fake to me. This one felt like it was ripped from reality.
That's so well said.
Yeah.
You know what knocked me out? I have an 18-year-old daughter, one child. She just started college.
Yeah.
So we did all the campus tours.
Right.
And I learned in the course of that in many campuses, the terms freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior are out.
That's
Instead,
right.
you say first year, second, third, fourth.
Indeed.
Francis knows it.
He understands it.
Somehow he learned that. He's not married, he has no kids, but he learned it.
But somehow he gets it.
Yeah.
Remarkable to have a chance to sit down with you.
Oh, what a
And
pleasure.
Wish it would be longer. Sam Tanenhaus.
So great.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
Good.
Funding for Overheard with Evan Smith is provided in part by Hilco Partners, Texas Government Affairs Consultancy, and its global healthcare consulting business unit, Hilco Health, and by the Matson McHale Foundation in support of public television, and also by MFI Foundation, improving the quality of life within our community, and also by the Alice Kleberg Reynolds Foundation. And viewers like you, thank you.